the rounds on our first map of Nuke between Spirit and Winstrike for that final major spot in the CIS region. 8 rounds on CT side, but it wasn't enough. And to break down the crazy game of Nuke, our first game of Nuke in the CIS region, I've got Pimp and Blair as always. And my, oh my, I thought we were going to overtime, boys, but somehow, someway, Winstrike get it done.
What a tense game that was. I believe both teams had great honor on this one, and I believe both teams played a pretty decent Counter-Strike throughout. Yeah. Obviously, mistakes were made, crucial mistakes as well. There was NTE was lost for both teams, and there was moments where you thought to yourself, why are you doing this to yourself? But that's just part of it. That's part of the pressure. That's part of the... Basically, you know what surrounds this game, the pressure that is put upon them right now. This is the biggest match in their career, so I would be surprised if we didn't see some of those mistakes. What we also got to see, though, was some brilliant plays from some of the young guys, especially Nobot. What a guy.
I mean, the guy was really impressing me. I mean, we had like Waylander, for example, go off wall, and everyone played their part, so to speak, in getting this game, making this game go all the way the full distance, right? But yeah, there was a lot of individual brilliances. And here's a funny thing: you watch Nuke a lot being played in EU and even NA nowadays a lot, and that style of Nuke is very, very different from the Nuke we saw being played over here. There were a lack of crazy executes, for example. Upper hits were lacking, so to speak. But more about gathering up together, going for the kills. There was a lot of it was an interesting map of Nuke, so to speak. And I'm not too surprised. Winstrike picked this map because they beat Spirit the previous time they faced off on this map, which Spirit had picked last time. Yeah. But both these teams are very comfortable on this map, and I think the scoreline pretty much reflects how both teams are pretty comfortable here.
And I'm liking the fact these CIS teams start to play more of Nuke, right? We always saw Na'Vi and Gambit kind of pick into it. It's starting to become a more regular thing, so maybe they're the Nuke and Dust 2 guys. Now, Blair, you picked out a clip for us of Norbert here, so you want to break this one down for us?
Yeah, this is the reason why I find this kid so very impressive, right? I don't think we have the clip here yet already, but oh, there we go. All right, so this is Team Spirit in a pistol round, just rushing towards ramp. You can see all 5 players gather up together. Look at Norbert. Look at him. Spots a player out, immediately drops on down, doesn't stick around, take the fight. This is something many players do at a lower level of CS, so to speak. Then he falls back down, plays some control room. One tap, sweet, clean, again, falls on all the way back. He's gathering information, conveying it to his teammates, waiting for them to, to kind of lay the trap, so to speak. He hears the players pushing in. They're looking for the hunt. They're trying to find him. He hears the players to his right. What does he do? Looks left, finds a free kill right there, gets the kill. See how he's playing. This is a 17-year-old kid playing in the biggest game of his life and is so composed, so calm. And this is such good Counter-Strike. They lost this round, by the way, but the individual decision-making and, of course, the aim coming out from this kid is just so very good.
It's the fact that he stays so calm and composed throughout that situation. You would think to yourself, a lot of players would be rattled out. They'll feel the pressure. There's 4 guys coming towards you. But as you said, and as players sort of like highlighted in this clip, he just keeps his calm, and he just keeps it calm, and he keeps it collective. He's playing off sound, he's playing off brain, and that's something, like I remember back in the days when I was playing Ramp, for example, I was always told, if you see a guy, if you feel pressured, fall back. But I still had some sort of like inner intuition, urge, that told me I want to go for the kill. I would just want to get 1 kill before I fall back. This is a guy that is 17 years old. He's playing at a relatively high level. He's playing a match, about qualifying for the biggest tournament in Counter-Strike, and he makes 0 mistakes in a round like this. This is impressive, and this is part of the reason why Winstrike is so good, and why I would say, that they're looking like the favorites coming into this one. I mean, Spirit played some of the best Counter-Strike we've seen so far in this tournament on Nuke right here. Still, they weren't able to win. So what's it going to take?
I mean, the biggest problem for Spirit is, I think, both the halves. They won both the pistol rounds. You win both the pistol rounds on Nuke, and yet you're losing him 16-14. Yeah. I think you lost that game, right? I mean, nothing against Winstrike. They played some great Counter-Strike, but at the same time, Spirit, I think, just made too many mistakes.
Now, Overpass, guys, that's going to be map 2. That is going to be Spirit's pick as well coming into it. Surely this is a bit more of a chance from here, right? You had a really close game. You potentially felt like you could take Nuke. Now you should be feeling at least a little bit more confident.
The good thing for Spirit is Cost is showing up right now. I think he was plus 11 on this map. He was playing one hell of a game individually. And Overpass is definitely a map where he can thrive well. The AVP needs to take the duels. It needs to be assertive. It needs to be aggressive. And it needs to dictate the pace. AVPing on Overpass on CT side especially is one of those maps where you get a lot of freedom. You can go for a B pick. You can go short on B as well and pick it up. You can go towards toilets. You can go long. So you can sort of like dictate which area to close down if you're good enough with it. And that's what I need to see from Cost. He needs to be assertive. He needs to be aggressive. And he needs to be dictating the pace.
Blair, real quick.
Well, it is the map which Spirit picked out, right? I mean, this is a surprise pick for me, in my opinion. So they definitely have something planned for them, but I think I'm still going to stick with Winstrike. I think they are the better team overall here.
All right, guys, thank you very much. We're going to get straight into the game. It's back with Scrawny and Launders to see if they can get Overpass underway and which way this series is going to go.
17 years old and an absolute monster. I love the fact that Norbert is getting the credit he seems to be due. Flanders, I had a bit of a question mark around the kid when we came into this week, but he is leaving this weekend with a good chip on his shoulder, regardless of whether or not Winstrike take down Spirit 2-0 or not. Overpass, the choice of Spirit. How you feeling about this one?
I'm nervous for Spirit. I feel like even though it's their map pick, and Sum Dayong had something like 27 kills on it the other day with a 4K with a 1v2, and you know, just game-changing rounds. If that's the crutch that they plan to lean on, you know, it's something that I would be hesitant to believe could happen again. You know, it's something that was probably an anomaly of a performance, and that day he was consistent throughout, but still, apart from that on their Overpass, they struggled a bit on the T side. They didn't find that many rounds. His game-changing round maybe brought them back into it a bit, but I think they were lucky that they were propped up by their CT side initially. And I fear that them having a poor CT side in this map, or starting out on T side and starting off too slow, will be too much for them to be able to come back into it. Winstrike again, you know, lost both pistols last map. Started off the first half 4-1, started off the second half 5-0, and still 16-14 the map. So here we are, into the round. No more talking is necessary. Let's see if they can deliver on the goods. Team Spirit. They've got a setup in a default where Coldy is locking down the stairs, waiting to hear if the door swings open or if anybody comes down to peek. Once his teammates are done clearing out the bathrooms, they will rejoin him. And it looks like potentially we'll just escort him back up so that they can go towards A.
I'd like to see Winstrike manage to pick themselves up a pistol. 0-2 so far this series. And they've had the openings, just failed to close them. So far, it's not looking too hot. A-site crumbles immediately beneath the feet of Spirit. Kvik does have cover behind Optimus Prime, but he too blown away. Norbert just probably hoping his team could have done something so that if he was walking upwards into a 1v2, 1v3, he'd have some hope. But I don't think the hope is high in a 1v5. Smoke fades, and he does get himself at least a single headshot, but in the process loses half his health. It would have had to been clean snaps, and it's just not meant to be.
In my opinion, on the CT side of Overpass, one of the most simple things you can do that'll be effective no matter what the round is use your best spawn towards A to go peek, and then have 4 people go B in case of a B rush. That stops any kind of B split, any kind of stairs hit, and if you have that one player fall back or sees people at A, you can call for rotations and dictate the rest of the round. But that way, you have info at A, you lock down B. And on the T side, we saw a round there from Spirit where they go and take their Glocks to clear out the bathrooms. And normally, if there was that CT player to peek with a pistol, he would fall back, and then they go and clear out stairs. And they keep that train going, just make sure that the CTs can never be safe. And finally end up in a site take. Here's a USP round that has already resulted in 1 frag for Winstrike, but immediately the trains come back.
Ooh, more dinks on top of it all. Kvik and Waylander left up, both of 100 HP, nearly. They've got a little flank rolling too. This would have to be massive, and Waylander's just caught sitting on his legs down towards the water side. 2-0 Spirit, you know, looked a little shaky, but once they regain control of the situation, it's all good.
Easy choice for them to go out to Monster, try to get those trades, kept the majority alive. That's the most important thing. And what the hell was that shot? That was pretty nuts from Waylander. Nice jumping little, or falling P2K kill. But yeah, maybe just a consolation prize. And those USP kills translate into smokes on this round. Not a totally full buy in terms of utility for Winstrike, though Team Spirit are going to expect them to have full-on rifles. Another monster rushes. Waylander sprays down 3 people, gets the bomb control, knows there's 2 more, looks for the next one. The UMP trades it out, but will it be too late? Spirit must have hopes at an all-time low, as now they're just in a 2v4 situation, and their strat got called out completely.
Yeah, they just got wrecked. I mean, that's one of the problematic situations on the B-bomb site, right? You get culled through the monster tunnel. 0 short control as well. You can't immediately still get into the bomb site. You can see these last 2 remaining Spirit players have to walk away instead, so they've de-escalated the situation, Winstrike. They've got themselves wrapped around Spirit. Got their hands on their necks, but they haven't yet choked them out. It's beginning, though. Sophic down to 6 HP, will be spammed through the wall to his death, and Davkos can't catch World Edit with an angle. He's going to come clear these corners, and World Edit's gone. Doesn't want to offer up his life. A 1v3 is possible, and Davkos even has bomb, but fully blind. Good timing on that flashbang. Winstrike used those weapons to immediately get on the board.
Yeah, pretty early, pretty disgusting spray down, sorry, from Waylander. We don't get his POV on that, but I think it's pretty clear exactly what happened. All of the players lining up in the tunnel as they come out onto the site, and he just takes them down one at a time. When Team Spirit here have to now decide what they're going to spend. Sophics going to hit, sorry, excuse me, tripping over my words. It's going to hold on to his $5,100, not spend a dime of it. And the rest of the team will upgrade some of their pistols, for the most part. Group to move out towards A. It's a QB sneak it monster. We've seen this happen before. Last time Spirit got kind of disjointed in the play towards A and didn't end up having the bomb sneak out monster at all. So hopefully this time they're a bit more explosive and deliberate about their move. But Sophic shows the bomb early, and that thing is basically in no man's land. I mean, this might just stir some rotates, but this opportunity right here when World Edit crosses from long is going to be the first and last time they'll get a free kill at A.
Dismantling this one really quickly. I mean, you don't even get Spirit getting numbers near a bomb site. Nobody even dies within seconds of each other. It's just kind of been this trickle. Over and over. Technicality of a round looks fantastic for Winstrike. Great way to build a little bit of momentum here, right? They've got that economic buffer.
Now, obviously, the idea is just to make a ton of presence at A with 4 people, have all those players commit, try to get 1 kill if possible, maybe 2 if they can. And if with that, potentially, you could swing even a good team into rotating to try to scramble to pick up for their losses and then have the bomb come out monster. But bomb shows up too early, everybody goes down, nobody gets a kill. Winstrike 5 alive on the anti-eco, tons of money saved up because of it. And they start this round off with some aggressive CT play. Molotov to deny anybody from crossing. It comes out early enough that Dima cannot step foot into the playground. Goldie locking down the middle of the map here in stairs. And he won't have any CT players to deal with. Team Spirit, if they're granted all this free map control, will have options opened early. But even still, in situations like this, sometimes terrorist teams can trip themselves up, take too long to clear stuff out. It's going to be important that they have this just kind of distinct protocols that allow them to get through these angles in a timely fashion so they have the opportunity to execute or fake and fall back if they please. But they have now the easy rotation with stairs control to decide.
Winstriker just jumping around in this A site, hoping to get some early warning sign. The utility is a warning itself, and Dima, oh boy, Dima, he doesn't even know he's doomed. Boomich, he's gonna take his time. There's 2 kills, nearly a third. The headshot's there for him. But Dima still has an opportunity to swing this back or eject bomb. Just dip out of dodge, get out of position, and head down to the B site, which they could, but they opt not to. Seeing as Davkos has managed an op kill from long, it throws World Edit into the open. He takes an initiative, almost spraying into the second, but didn't quite see Dima. And the question is, where's Norbert? A player who opened up all too many opportunities on Nuke. Can he clutch this? Can he close the 5th round of the first half already? He wastes no time getting into position.
Oh, he's got no nades to work with. He won't have much time to get a kill. If he doesn't get this kill, he certainly won't get a defuse. And it doesn't seem like he's fully aware of the fact that Dima is just ducking, but finally scouts him out and gets the next one as well. Davkos flubs an op shot, and Norbert capitalizes as he's known to do.
Gives him way too much space as he runs upwards. Dima, he gave his life to Davkos. It was completely in his hands. And a couple little jiggle shots, he manages to get past that op and clutch a crucial round.
Holy smokes, this kid, dude, he's been so consistent. It's unbelievable. What a 1v2 from him to bring Winstrike into that. I was going to kind of harp on the fact that World Edit strayed from the site in the 2v2 just after they saw so much A presence and then died for almost no reason, putting undue stress on Norbert. But look at him, he just steps up.
Boomich this round going to take absolute control. Runs forward into the fountain. This is what I like to see. I think this is what you were alluding to when we saw the pistol and that real hesitancy from Winstrike. You know, they're feeling as though they're in control of this situation, looking for info and then some. Establishing a 5v4, and that does leave Spirit still to work forward with their grenades. They have decent utility, in fact.
Yeah, it's a similar eco, but this time the bomb tags along. World edit. So at least got Boomich to cover. They've got 3 people to cover. And the smokes to try to separate engagements, but it's only going to push people out in front to take the fights. And Boomich just trying not to shoot his teammate.
Yeah, wants to get this situation back under control and will do absolutely that. Quick throws himself amidst the smoke. Question remains, where's Davkos got off to, and now element of surprise is gone. So is Bomb. So is Spirit's attempt at a pistol round upset. They get that close proximity. And Boomich, I'm sure, laughing about the fact that he had to try and fire around World Edit. That could have been real dangerous. At the end of the day, Winstrike get through.
Easy round so far from Winstrike to come back. Actually, not so easy. Well, you know, Norbert has to go just absolutely into superhero mode, throw the cape on and everything to be able to pull off a 1v2 to keep their economy afloat, not only to keep their round win lead up, but now they're up to, on the CT side, Team Spirit are back on a buy that we've seen from them in terms of strats. We just quickly take an inventory, a couple of monster rushes, ecos towards A, and then 1 execute on the T side. And this time it looks like something fresh, a delayed exec. With a heavy presence towards monster, the short boost is too strong, however. Short control is taken. Immediately the CCs will know the threats are coming here, but the Ts come out in time to deal with it.
Yep, still manage their opening and then some. Coldy just tearing through this B site. It's gonna have to go for the bomb plant. Molotov's gonna force him into an off position. Boomich throws himself forward. Now that's the bomb planter down. 2 versus 3 still to the favor of Spirit, but just barely with such low health. And Sophic has full monster control, so if Boomich heads back here...
Oof, I think World Edit's gonna see that. That's not a fight that he wants to take. He's still in a position where they have a smoke for monster, so they want to identify and eliminate the targets in the site, and then they could potentially have a round on their hands, but it's an op here. Yep. World Edit, which makes things a whole lot harder.
Yeah, you see him caught, fires 1 bullet. I'd say good call by Sophic to sit so far back for a while. That has to be a little sketchy when, like you said, there's a possibility of a smoke to counter him, and his teammates in the bomb site already have such low HP. Plus, additionally, you already have this pinch between short and heaven side. So you can't help but feel like Team Spirit, you know, they're probably calling for Sophic to come help, but he really wants to keep himself at a distance in case they need him in the end.
Good on Spirit to recognize the call to action, execute so quickly to the point that even though Winstrike find that frag and immediately try to fall into the site, they still get caught off guard. Next time, I'm sure Winstrike will just bounce a nade off the pillar, whether that be a smoke, a flash, or a Molotov to help delay a little bit. That probably would have made a world of difference. But again, when Spirit did what they had to do when the jig was up. So, they're once again in a position to go out towards monster. They love doing this. Waylander probably be happy to see them come through a smoke if that's the case.
Oh no, awful timing on the utility. Pulls out a Molotov, costs himself his life. Norbert, just 1 kill so far, but there's his second, nearly another third. Good on the damage at least. Here's the flank, Boomich down. Sophic catches him, just like in the previous round, near mirrored. Except World Edit has the element of surprise. Misses the shot versus Davkos, knows there's one close, and Coldy will catch him. Missing pristine opportunities there, but it all starts with Waylander pulling out the molly.
I'm not impressed to see Spirit go for that play one more time. I mean, enough with the coming through smokes, but I'm sure Waylander is the one who's most tilted at this point, having lost that opportunity by throwing the Molotov a little bit too late. I think he's just surprised that they went ahead and
did that again.
You know, that's the kind of Hail Mary play you see towards the end of a half when you're out of ideas.
Right.
That ends up probably losing you the game, and then gets you to have a giant team talk to rework your overpass. Here we're seeing Spirit throw it out 3 or 4 times, when 2 times they lost in such embarrassing fashion you'd think you never see it again, and then they brought it out again and somehow managed to win, even though it was 4v5. maybe in that sense, it works as a changeup because it's so surprising that they'd go for it. But what do they do next time? Here, Winstrike now are so low that they actually have to save. Will hang their heads low. Have a humble round of pistols. Eco territory for them. Goldie once again works the stairs as he normally does. Not too much of a battle for it. That's the only time we've seen someone like him get a kill within the stairs.
Yeah.
For the most part, CTs have left that wide open. To be honest, the setups haven't been that bad. I don't think there's even been a need for them to have had stairs control. Winstrike have been cleaning up. But again, just like, you know, for that to happen at long, that's something that needs to be accounted for, obviously. But it's kind of one of those situations where you're like, yeah, it's not going to happen again, don't worry.
Right, exactly. You'd hope, anyways. Because I feel like even when it did succeed, it was on the cusp of being shut down back to 2 rounds now, but...
I'd certainly be surprised if we never see it again this half, considering how much it seems like they have an affinity for it. We're trying to abuse that same crouch position, and it actually works out for him. The disappearing act is successful. The kids go wild.
Yep, not bad at all. We'll get there in the end, Sotvik and Co. with a couple of costly losses on the bomb site itself, but pretty much just tearing through the boys on Winstrike.
World Ed seems off his game a little bit.
Yeah, slightly.
Not hitting every shot.
Right. Yeah, and it happened on Nuke as well. You know, I talked about that ramp play where he, you know, could have gotten... I mean, to be fair, those were difficult shots, but it's like when nothing else is going for Winstrike, when the offer is the only chance they have at a certain situation, like that.
That's big. You know how little time you have to hang out there, and there is a threat that somebody has creeped up the right side of the wall. You kind of go for that peek, and then you fall back. World Edit overstayed his welcome and maybe thought that he had a few more seconds where he didn't. And so, you know, that's kind of just begs the question one more time. Is he feeling it at the moment? Because even his kind of game sense is failing him. But it could be unlucky. Certainly not a player that rolls over and dies.
Boomich will, though. Comes up from the staircase. We just talked about the lack of control we'd seen Winstrike within Connector. SDY has the presence of mind to try and find a flanker. Sure enough, Waylander was back there, but Spirit have caught him in their trap.
And this feels like an anti-eco round with the way that the CTs have been melted. Some damage dealt, and finally it's Coldie down to half HP, but even he still then gets a kill. Not a single trade so far for Winstrike, as the default is ultra successful. And Kvix here probably wondering what happened. Ooh, wow. Barely showing his body. Davkost gets a peek with the op, takes Kvik out. And there will not be an op transferred over to this round, even though that was definitely going to be a safe situation. So a big find from Spirit and Davkost. And another comfortably one round. This is interesting. Spirit have built up a terrifying amount of money. The lowest amount of money on the server for Team Spirit is Coldie, who is $5,000.
Baller status here for Spirit.
How much was your car?
Mine? $7,300.
Close. He could almost buy your car flat out.
Damn.
Is it a Porsche 911?
Definitely.
Definitely, yeah. Got a deal.
Ignore the Honda logo. And it's anything you want.
Just so it doesn't get stolen, right?
Right, yeah. Speaking of stealing, Winstrike have been known to, on rounds like these, throw a spanner in the works. But I'm just left thinking about the previous round when on a full buy, they were dismantled one after another. And unfortunately for Boomich, his foot was spotted on the fallback. So that's an easy call for SDY to try and hone in his attention and presence of mind to keep an eye on flank again. Damn, Spirit. This kind of feels like it's coming out of nowhere, but it's moving through and through. Winstrike skewered yet once more all across the map. Nobody doing substantial damage. And the only question that remains is where the hell is Kvik?
You know, I definitely have questions. I've been critical so far of the rounds we've seen from Spirit, but their anti-ecos look solid at the very least. just a couple of rifle decisions made me wonder how prepared they were to play this map, even though there was their pick. But now that they've won those rounds, they seem to be back on their feet. Even their default on the previous round looks solid. So I guess maybe they just got away with the monster rushes early in the half, which is something you usually see later on. And now they will kind of show their full game plan. But it's more alarming for Spirit that they simply don't get trades versus a full-on default. You almost always will lose 2 to 3 people if you're just going to win a round taking duels versus CTs. They're the ones who are supposed to have the drop on you for the majority of the round. And it looks like Spirit will try that again. I would definitely go for that one more time. Winstrike are going to get melted.
I feel like they've learned their lesson, Winstrike, because the 2 rounds they do get melted, obviously one being an eco, is when they start throwing themselves up into connector. So I think I'm going to have to give praise to Spirit's default in the sense that, you know, we see them again move up towards long/bathrooms. Like, they go through those motions before they get to a bomb site. And in those instances, despite having a small sample size, hot damn did they look good. You know, very aware of all the potential positions and plays of Winstrike. Their difficulties, the T's, have been getting into the bomb site itself. Well, this time they envelop A with smokes, a response with a Molotov, and no kills yet.
It's actually a really, oh my goodness, whoa. I don't know if that was just a lineup and a timing, but World Edit finds his impact.
Dima finds his space, clears quick from the corner, goes for the bomb plant through boxes. Coldy, good enough to give a little bit of cover, and that's all he needs, but Norbert into the mix. That's obviously clearing a man close on the bomb site. We've got the entirety of Spirit falling back. Davkos gets dinked. Still, he holds his own and will drop it to the man advantage for them. SDY ready for the flanking connector, and that is World Edit left all alone. Nobody gonna give him a target yet, but the moment Davkos comes around the corner, he is a goner. And if my name's not Connor, that's a convincing T-side round.
There's no utility left for him to use for the retake. There was Norbert who had the Molotov and I think an HE that he could have thrown, but tried to take the fight straight up. Almost won his duel, kind of walked into an opper, so it wasn't supposed to, but at least got the dink off. Either way, it wasn't enough. I think the initial Molotov to the left side of bathrooms was huge. They also smoked off the bathrooms itself, meaning that the execute was delayed by at least 7 seconds and a bit. So if they had waited an extra 7 seconds and just kind of let the bomb go down, get the opening kill with World Edit, and then just chill for a second, they probably could have had a much more successful retake, and instead expelled so much utility before the retake was even on, kind of frantically trying to deny a bomb plant when they were probably at an advantage and they didn't realize it. I think it was hard to see that they had stopped every single one of them from moving up. And oh yeah, World Edit did have some information. I think even in that situation, no, Kvik, don't even get in front of that with all of your teammates smoked out, because it's the one angle that they can clear for free. So could have potentially been a better way to deal with that. But now this is a strat that Team Spirit have over Winstrike that they could potentially use again and push Winstrike in an uncomfortable position if they haven't figured out what they did wrong there. Early short control. We've seen these B-split executes before.
There was a lot of pistol players here just moments ago, but now they're gone. They put Waylander in position. They see that it's not an instantaneous rush from Spirit, but sure enough, they are near. Now they've dropped their bomb.
Yeah, you typically don't want to have your bomb to entry. Luckily for them, it is just a pistol round. World Edit will probably try to recycle the op after going for maybe a couple of free kills. Boomich dies.
If I'm him, I'm already out of here. But
yeah, he's up in heaven, so yeah, I can just kind of sit and wait from the watchtower. Well, he's committing very hard to this. Hits a nice flick. That was fairly dirty, but then dies. And I guess they have enough money to rebuy it, so they're not going to be too worried. There are 2 rounds left over, however.
Yep. All in all, impressive T-side coming out of Team Spirit. They really got their footing underneath them. They finally broke that cache. Trying to figure out these rounds now. Much more convincing B hit this time too, obviously. They did find the timing. A little bit of patience pays off, seeing as Winstrike had just evacuated the bomb site.
And initially, you know, coming into the game, it felt like Spirit were going to have the struggles on T side. So they got that sorted out. They had a strong T side so far. Their CT side is actually really good. And so that might be a problem for Winstrike if the rounds are on the board. No matter how they kind of won them, whether they quote-unquote deserve them, you know, if that means anything. Numerically at this point, they've got a daunting scoreline. A lot of wiggle room if they lose a pistol. Waylander even dies in round 14.
Well, let it though. Last flick. Hot feet. Needs to retreat just slightly. He's got the support still all around him, and in a moment's notice, Team Spirit have redirected towards B. Young Norbert. He's going to use that pillar and the barrels to try and section off the entries. There's the instantaneous headshot. Tries to spray down Coldy and nearly finds him. He's in the low teens. All he needs is a couple more bullets and a rotation down from World Edit to put this one to bed. Unless Davcost, after being legged, can clutch a 1v3. He's got the first shot versus Boomich, and he knows World Edit's near inside of the water. Looks like he wants to take the high road, but just goes for the side peek to reconfirm. And it's a battle of the sidearms between the snipers. World Edit grabs it, and Winstrike at least with one more round before we come to the close of the half.
And yeah, it seems like World Edit got caught out of position a few times early on, but has figured it out now. Looks good. He's feeling comfortable, hitting some pretty good shots here. It's a nice tracking flick upwards. And Norbert, he just has no wasted movement. I mean, his peaks are so tight. It feels like his spray is right down the line. He doesn't flick too quickly. He just lines it up super smoothly. Doesn't ever go too far, and has a good enough reaction time that it's just putting his targets away, maximizing the peeker's advantage, and minimizing the space used.
I feel like whenever you have a player like him who's consistently getting these multi-frags, it's because he's so good at isolating 1v1s. You know, you get those separate duels, and that last round is a prime example of it.
That's true. I don't remember a Norbert spray transfer. Some damage done to him through the wall. And Waylander here sighing at the thought of having to figure out when the T's are going to come barreling through a smoke, but Norbert's going to assist. The bomb's out here, so, you know, that's Spirit's endgame. Basically 0 players holding down the A side at the moment, whether it's T or CT.
Good trade. Costs them Norbert, but Waylander, he was ready for it. Then repeats, and that could have been so costly. Davcost was ready, but just unable to land the shot. Now it's a battle from the other side of the op. World Edit, he's not going to miss his opportunity. Desperation going to sink in here with 30 seconds left over. Team Spirit seem as though they do not want to go into B, but rather redirect. And you mentioned it. There was 0 defense at the A site. In fact, there's nothing here.
No one's even rotated yet after hearing them run away, kind of elephant footing back to the site. I'm shocked at this. The nade even doing a bit of damage as they secure both choke points. CT and Bank are closed for the next few seconds, and the T's can get into really threatening after-plant spots. Surprising to see Winstrike let this one go. What is happening?
No nades for the retake either. So they're just gonna have to try to find the timing, and 2 players shut down. There's the damage and the round. Team Spirit just sneak their way up into A and deny another round for Winstrike. So they get their double digits in the first 15. Is this gonna be a quick second map? Well, you'll have to stick around. We'll be back after the break to find out. One hell of a T-side coming out of Team Spirit, winning the pistol, losing 4 in a row to the side of Winstrike. Looked as though maybe they'd struggle. And then out of nowhere, Mohan, we had 7 rounds in a row. 8 of the last 9, all belonging to Team Spirit. And if you ask me, Winstrike just seemed kind of out of their element here.
The thing is, some of the stuff that they were doing wrong wasn't even map specific. Like the way that they were playing post plant, or like on that last round, the 3v2. That stuff's like, you listen for that, you see a crummy fake come your way, you go for the rotate, but they couldn't even do that, so they just seem kind of lost for reasons I can't tell, but either way, we're into the next pistol. Winstriker probably gonna get a bomb plant down here safely. Some Young here to threaten on Cat Flash, comes out for the peek. Looks for the initial duel, isn't gonna be too greedy about it, but ends up getting flanked, and another kill from Some Young, where there's a guy who has him dead to rights.
Man, this guy's just a heartbreaker, but Norbert, a face wrecker, only gets himself 1. The retake is theirs, and Team Spirit winning now 4 of the 4 pistol rounds in this series.
We could see just subtle touches as the bomb defuse ends up onto the team who is defusing, which
makes sense.
You could never really think otherwise. But some subtle changes as the new HUD is rolled out.
Have you noticed at the beginning of the rounds the utility level indicator? So next time we go into the buy round, if we catch it, keep your eyes above the player names, and it'll tell you their level of utility. See, poor, nothing on the right side, low.
Poor.
They are poor.
Kind of mean.
As if you.
They might be rich in spirit.
No, that's on the other side. Davcost wanting to get out of here as fast as possible. He's lost Sotfik. That was his support. And the FAMAS follows suit.
You know, unless these guys are buying, like, cup noodles on the daily, I feel like, you know.
Listen, man, we've all been there.
If they're not living the college student life, then should they have the title of poor?
You got to earn it.
Or you got to earn poorness?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or rather not earn it. Think this FAMAS is good for another kill? Didn't get much done. On that first initial peek, Davcost ready, so it seems. But Kvik could catch his head. Kvik's deagle shot actually misses the mark. And then he walks backwards into the scope of SDY. So problem solved, momentum obtained. Team Spirit only losing 1 player, giving up a little bit of damage, but damage is fine, Launders, because we're reaching a critical point here where Winstrike are getting outclassed.
We saw this exact same scoreline. I mean, it was 12-6. So I don't know if it was 12-5 at one point, but we saw 12-6 on Nuke, and then Winstrike pulled it all the way back. Different map, different side. But it was just Winstrike outclassing them on more fronts than just the map alone. Just looked so insanely solid. They came back against all odds, won a hefty amount of rifle rounds to make up for the pistol and subsequent anti-ecos that they lost. So, I don't know. It seems like they're here to play, but fundamentally speaking, I feel like there's a stark contrast to be drawn between the way that they played last map and the way that they're playing this map. Winstrike are making some weird decisions. Here it is. Here's a good trade to start things off. Bomb gets dropped back at the top of ladder. Don't think that that information was gathered by Dima. I think if he went that far, maybe he could have camped it out a little bit. So now it's kind of just a 4v4 reset as Winstrike go to move back to get it. Norbert is going to be used as a lurk. He has been known to get some really crafty kills. Goes for the 1-tap on the jumping player. Doesn't know that there's one hit he's got to deal with, and it's actually Some Young on the rotate, excuse me, to take him out.
World Edit dancing between these targets too. Overwhelmed as they move forward. I like that Team Spirit aren't necessarily giving Winstrike room to work with. Not only having that rotator quickly into the heavens, but also staying consistent on their aggression. Another one. Davcost quickly scouts Boomich. 4 players survive for Team Spirit, and I think we need to queue up Dust 2, Launders, because I'm not seeing much yet.
Maybe not, yeah. There might not be a chance at this point. It's going to be another anti-eco. Winstrike are going to call attack pause, their last one of the match.
They have one more.
Scrounge up any strats that they can. Sorry, yeah, that's what I meant to say. Scrounge up any last strats that they have in the old handbook.
Here's the thing is, remember, we go back to their match versus Gambit, right? And we were talking about how in the shuttle back to the hotel, they were laughing about being called Long Strike and how they had this, great hit out on Long, and they were very confident in that. I remember them saying specifically that, wait until we play Overpass. We have this execute on B. They were proud of the ability to hit B side on Overpass, and obviously they just started their T side, so we haven't seen much yet.
It's a big problem, right? They haven't even gotten to play rifle rounds.
So if
that's the bed you make for yourself when you don't have a good first half.
Exactly. They've minimized their abilities and opportunities to attempt so. But if they have something in store for us on B, I would like to see it because the chance is dwindling, and this is the last best of 3 of the CIS minor. They have run out of chances to showcase said skills.
And you know what? From this buy, I think it is fair to say they're poor. About 2K. Boomich has picked up a scout, and the rest of his teammates only have P250s, Eagles. He gets tagged down low, and yeah, if they have a B-side execute, I would like to see it. What's this? What is this B-side execute that they're saving? It's fine to openly talk about the strat at this point. This is the last time they're going to be playing Overpass at this tournament, at least.
Hide, Waylander. They're coming. They had seen the bomb dropped outside bathroom, so odds are he was near. And sure enough, they'll take him. Again with 4 players up. I mean, this is Spirit just moving straight through Winstrike. No hesitation, no resistance. Not even breaking a sweat.
This could be the time. World Edit has gone up. Everyone's got the nades they want to. I want to see that bomb move out to the B side. Let's show us this execute. Something they wanted to do versus Spirit specifically. Did they know they were going to play Spirit at the time? I don't know. But for the moment, they've just gone out to clear angles at A. And one thing in CIS is there's just not a lot of forward aggression on CT side when it comes to jumping up to balloons. Taking stairs control on CT side doesn't seem to be protocol for them. I don't think they worry too much about it. And for some reason, it works okay on both sides. Or for both teams on the CT side. Kind of play back in the site, have one kind of op, roam around A. Look for a kill if it comes to him. If not, so be it. He'll just fall back. And he sometimes fall into the trap of just getting up close, but then not having a really thorough execute, getting out, getting opt, and losing the round. But they still have to give them the respect, though, of clearing stuff out, obviously.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Winstrike going through their entire default at this point. They've done everything they could. They've taken all the map control they possibly could for free. They have not extended past the halfway mark of bathrooms, and nor do they have short water. But outside of that, they've cleared every cubby, every corner, every nook and cranny.
Oh, I think we might have it, Connor. Maybe a B execute. This could be it.
I mean, it's made possible by the clearing of A first and foremost. Norbert on the entry, Waylander trades. They've got themselves a little bit of footing, and Heavens is smoked out as well. This isn't necessarily the hardest of A hits, but it does include Boomich on a flank. Now Coldy gets boosted, read like a book.
No saves either, as Boomich comes in finally. Just late pipe on the remaining 2 CTs. Davcost, who has a op he wants to save, and I think it might be understood where he was just last as his teammate was boosted up at CT spawn. They're not sure which one of these guys got the kill, and as he divides his time equally between the flank and the players on the site, Boomich picks an opportune moment to peek out and take him down.
Now, smooth B hit, right? Nothing too fancy.
That wasn't it.
No, I don't think so.
That was an execute you could call it a pug.
Yeah.
3 players long. I'm gonna smoke Heaven, and you guys run out monster off this flash. The God Flash, swear to you, everyone's gonna be blind. Don't worry about it.
Definitely didn't miss it.
There's about 2 nades involved in that strategy.
Now, that one guy, Boomich, is the guy who, of course, goes the opposite direction and flanks A. Guys, I'm lurking. Ends up winding out to be a key piece to the puzzle. But that's only the kind of execute that you can do confidently when you are given so much space. I mean, Winstrike, they found 0 conflict, 0 confrontation anywhere else on the map. It was very much their own round to play. Already we have Spirit trying to throw a bit of a curveball back. Coldy boosted and successful. Dima's the one who takes the damage. Classic, you know, you support your teammate, you boost him up there, and you're the guy who takes the hit. So he's gonna have to hide, Dima. He'll do so back behind barrels. 9 health. That really does open up an opportunity for anybody coming out from Monster. They'd only have to hit him in the shoulder or so.
Oh man, he's waiting for the peek. He's patient about it. That Molotov could be good, and he'll finally catch the cross. Oh, the smoke goes down, and he falls right back into his spot, becoming a just an ongoing threat for Winstrike, who just wanted to get rid of him once and for all. It's the most expensive man on the server. They've used about $1,000 to try to get him out of that position.
Front line of Winstrike setting up these nades. Got a Molotov and a smoke up and over. Dav Cost trained on long. Nothing to disrupt him from behind these boxes. Nobody can get him to move out of position. So every time he peeks, it's on his own accord. And by the time he does, Sotfix got them all dead. Winstrike walk into their deaths, giving up a 15th round, and now giving us 6 map points.
You might have called it, Connor. I mean, if the game comes close and it's Team Spirit who still win, then, you know, that's not really what you were saying. What you're saying is that it seems like they're probably going to walk away with this, with the way that the half is going. And that was definitely true. Team Spirit are now at match point. They've had such an easy time here on the CT side, just finding their kills, letting Winstrike take their time, work their picks, go for it, do whatever you want. It's not worked out so far. It's been all too easy for the CTs to get kills.
Yeah, Coldie and Some Die Young are just, you know, leaps above and beyond right now. Enough of an individual effort to make magic happen. We had said, SDY, where did he go? He had fallen off greatly in comparison to yesterday. But he's found his form. He's regained it, at least here on map 2. We just don't seem to have the solution from Winstrike. Do, of course, recall that map 1 finished 16-14 to the favor of Winstrike. So now that you really consider that, they are barely holding on.
I think it is canon to the CIS lore that this does end. The last match of the tournament. For it to come to an end on Dust 2.
The prophecy holds true. Norbert, double CZ frag. All right, we're watching. Just throwing a little bit of a problem their way, but he loses Kvik. Upgrades into the AK, sprays long distance, and that is not gonna work, folks. Team Spirit dismantling Winstrike, again winning both pistol rounds. We get the reset in the second half. That CT side was stellar, and Winstrike just seemed to disappear. We will be going over to Dust 2, the 3rd map in the series, folks. What seems like the most played map at the entire CIS minor. It is only fair that we end it all there. We will see you soon.